Hello, a virtual college exploration for all Pennsylvania students, sponsored by the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. My name is Justin. I'm a volunteer with the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling. PACAC is a nonprofit association comprised of more than 1,200 school counselors, college admissions counselors, independent educational consultants, and other professionals responsible for guiding students through the important transition from high school to post-secondary options. Thank you very much for joining us today. Just a few housekeeping items before we get started and turn it over to today's panelists. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. And you see an image of it here in the top left corner. Please note that your camera and microphone are off and will remain off, so the panelists won't be able to see or hear you. This is also just one of many sessions that will be occurring through the rest of this month and early November. So please be sure to check the full schedule online at www.pacac.org/virtual and check out the same site for a recording of this session and others that will be available in the coming weeks. So with that, I am going to turn it over to my colleagues at Washington and Jefferson. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and just bring up our presentation. Okay. Nicole, can you see me? Okay. So welcome to Wnj. We are excited to be here, but before we actually get started, we wanted to share a short video of one of our move-ins with our new students.
Woo! Yeah! Welcome to Wnj!
Nope, not doing that again. Again, thank you all for being here today. My name is Dylan Gerald. I'm an Associate Director of Admission here at Wnj, and I work with all of our students from Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania, and DC, Maryland, Virginia, and the Carolinas. I'm joined today by Nicole Shannon. Nicole, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Nicole. I'm also an Associate Director of Admission, and I recruit students from Central Pennsylvania, as well as the Southeastern United States.
Awesome. So we want to go through a variety of different topics with you, all listed on my screen share. First, we'll start out with where we are. Obviously, as this is a PACAC presentation, we are located in Pennsylvania, but more specifically, we're in the Southwest Pennsylvania area, Washington County. Within Washington County, we're in the city of Washington, so we're actually 1 block away from the courthouse for the county and the main street. So there is a lot of things to do in our area. We are about 30 minutes away from Pittsburgh. It's a pretty short drive. You basically go up one highway to get there, and we do have a shuttle that will take our students into the city on the weekends to take advantage of things like the Pittsburgh Steelers, like if there's a game going on, or to go into the city to experience the nightlife and the great food. We are just a few hours away from a lot of major cities. And here's just a quick view of Pittsburgh. if you've never seen it before. There are a lot of great things that Pittsburgh has to offer. Most notably, there are 7 Fortune 500 companies in the area, as well as a lot of really great startups. For instance, Duolingo is in Pittsburgh. And then another name that might sound familiar is niche.com or niche.com. Both of those are in Pittsburgh as well. On the slide, you'll see that Pittsburgh is the #1 city for young people and top 10 food city in the world. So there is a lot to take advantage of in the area, and it is a great city to live in.
So a brief history of Washington and Jefferson College. We were founded in 1781, which actually makes us one of the oldest colleges in the country. We actually used to be 2 separate colleges. So Washington College was located where we are now on campus, and Jefferson College was about 10 minutes away. The 2 merged together in 1865 to form what is now known as Washington and Jefferson College. I always like to point out the top left picture. The center where those columns are, that part of the building is actually still on campus. It was built in 1793, and it's still a functioning building on campus, but that used to be where all of the students lived and ate and took classes, and faculty and staff members also lived and ate and taught classes in that building as well. So it's pretty cool to still have such an old building on our campus functioning now as our communications office and our president's office. We are nicknamed the Presidents, so our mascot is the Presidents. We don't have physical mascots of presidents running around campus. That would be super weird. But we do have a campus motto of Wnj Thrive, which means thriving together.
Just a little bit about our academic programs. We are a private liberal arts institution, and really our whole academic philosophy revolves around this practical and liberating education. By way of doing that, we do have a 10-to-1 student-faculty ratio, and 75% of our classes have less than 20 students in them. Our total student body at this point is between 1,150 and 1,200 students. So you will get that really personal connection with your faculty. And all of them have terminal degrees in their area. And most of them have a lot of experience in their area as well. So it's not like, they went straight from undergrad to their master's and then directly into teaching. They actually have a host of experience in their respective fields. One really great thing about WNJ is all the study abroad opportunities, but we will get into that later. Here are all of our majors and minors. I will not read all of them to you. However, I did want to note that a lot of our students will double major at WNJ. It is pretty common for our students to choose 2 vastly unique areas. And really, by doing that, kind of focus a little bit more into a particular area. Some of the more common combinations with students' majors are biology and Spanish. A pretty common one that I think is pretty cool is public policy and environmental science. Those students in particular really like to go into environmental law, so you can kind of see how they'll make that happen.
Can I add our top 5 most popular majors?
Yes, do you want to share them?
Sure. Business administration, accounting, economics, psychology, and political science are our top 5 most popular. But like Dylan said, our students are pretty across the board. I mean, just because a student's in one of the most popular majors doesn't mean they don't have a really unique and interesting minor or double major. So, but those are our top 5 most popular. Go ahead, back to you.
Thanks. We do have a variety of pre-professional programs as well. 3-2 engineering, we have partnerships with Case Western Reserve University, Washington University in St. Louis, Columbia University, and the University of Pittsburgh. Although we don't have engineering on our campus, we do have partnerships with those institutions. You can really choose whatever major you want to and be on that engineering track in order to successfully matriculate into one of those programs. Education and teacher certification is a really great program that I don't think gets enough attention, but we have 100% pass rate on the praxis. And actually a lot of our students will teach not only in Pennsylvania, but we have some schools that we'll work with in Ohio and West Virginia, and even in, I think it was Puerto Rico. Nicole, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe it's Puerto Rico. Pre-health and pre-law are two of the programs that we're really most known for, to be honest. In general, we have 90% or more acceptance rates, so pre-health and pre-law programs. And our students are really going all over the country with those. We don't have any particular feeder schools that we're sending students to all the time. It really is up to the student where they want to go. Obviously, Pitt and Penn State are pretty popular, but that isn't to say that we're not sending students to, you know, UNC Chapel Hill, UC Berkeley, really wherever they want to go. And then with ROTC, we are a part of the Three Rivers, what is it called? The Three Rivers Battalion. And our ROTC program has Army, Air Force, and National Guard. So those are options as well. Magellan Project is a really unique experience that WNJ has for its students. It's basically where we provide funding to students to experience something that they've never done before and that they've always wanted to do. Nicole has some really great stories to share, and just on this slide, you'll see a couple of them, but I want to point out the girl on the right. Her name is Clara. She is a senior Spanish major. Her Magellan, which I think is really cool, she went to Spain and Morocco to study the immigration culture between those two countries. Whenever she returned, she related it back to US-Mexico immigration. But while she was there, she started out in Tangier, Morocco, worked her way up to Barcelona, Spain, and then back down to Tangier. While she was doing that, she crossed the border both ways, obviously, but then she also met with immigrants, refugees, local families just in the area, went to a lot of museums and things like that as well, and just got a really good whole grasp of what the culture is toward immigration in those countries. It's a little bit better in Spain than it is in Morocco, but it was just an awesome one to listen to.
You want me to go too?
I do want to share.
Yeah, I can. And one other thing that I like to add about the Magellan Project, in this presentation, it's under academics, but that doesn't mean it has to be. So basically the premise of the Magellan Project, like Dylan said, is to live out a dream trip, a passion project. So it can be anything you want it to be. It can go along with your major. It doesn't have to. You can do it up to 3 times throughout your time at WNJ. So maybe one year you want to do it along with your major, 1 year you want to do it domestic, 1 year you want to do it abroad. You really have, no parameters. You can plan the trip however you want to. But the example that I always like to give is one of our student workers. She is an international studies major with a double major in music and a minor in Chinese. And she did kind of like a 2-parter almost trip with her Magellan projects. The first year she studied music in China, and she shadowed elementary school classes, middle school classes, and high school classes. She actually got to work in some college settings as well and shadow some of their choir and instrumental courses, and interview and see different professional performances as well. So she got this like all-encompassing experience in China, seeing everything from little kids to professional adults participating in music. And then the following year, she went to San Francisco, California, and worked for the local Chinese Immigration Center as an internship. So 1 year was just completely holistic, kind of doing her own research. And the following year, she had an internship domestically that the funding paid for as well. So there really are, like I said, no parameters. You can live out a passion project. You can do it as close to campus as Pittsburgh and as far away as China or Australia or wherever else you want to do it. But our students have touched every continent except for Antarctica. So our students have been all over the world.
Do you want to keep going with study abroad?
Yeah, I'll keep going. So there are 3 ways that you can study abroad. The first is Magellan. And like I said, you can do that after your freshman year, after your sophomore year, and after your junior year. And that is fully funded by the college. There are 2 other ways. The first is J-term, and the second is semester or year-long. J-term is a 2-week semester during the month of January, where you can either extend your winter break an extra 2 weeks, take a non-traditional or accelerated course on campus for 2 weeks, or you can travel during that time. All of the pictures on the screen right now are from a J-term trip. The 2 on the left, I think, are the best representation of how big the groups are. So it's usually about 10 students and a faculty member. But some examples include a culinary tour of Italy, a theater tour of London, a cruise to the Dominican Republic to study economics. So they're very specific. There's a plan for, the entire trip, and you get to live out, this really cool experience, not by yourself, with a group of students. And you can do that as early as January of your freshman year, and you can do it every year if you want to. So you can do up to 4 J-terms if you want. Then we have traditional semester and year-long study abroad. We have 35 partners in 20 countries. You can study abroad up to 50% of your time at Wnj. So if you want to study for 2 full years, you can, or 4 semesters, you can do that. Your Wnj tuition travels with you. So whatever you're paying to go to school in Washington, Pennsylvania, you could be paying to go to school in Paris or in Shanghai, China, or basically anywhere in the world. So it's a great way to, branch out and do something a little more independent. You can do that as early as first semester of your sophomore year. So if study abroad is something that you're really interested in doing in college, just to lay it all out there for you, you can do up to 3 Magellan projects, 4 J-terms, and 4 semesters abroad throughout your 4 years at Wnj. And half of those experiences are paid for.
There is also funding for travel grants for the semester study abroads. My mouse is not playing nice today. At Wnj, although we do want you to take advantage of as much travel as you can, we do want to make sure that you're also being taken care of on our campus. So there is a lot that we'll do as an institution to make sure that you have fun things to do and that you're enjoying your time and really building a community when you're here. Part of that is having 70 or more organizations. Some of my favorites include our social organizations like the Black Student Union, the Gender and Sexuality Association, student government, all of those types of organizations. We also have a lot of academic honor societies and academic clubs, but then there are really tons of organizations that just revolve around things to do. Really funny, one of our student workers, Jakira, you wouldn't think that she likes horses, but she joined the equestrian club whenever she got to Wnj, and she absolutely loves it. She's from inner city Baltimore, so it's really funny hearing her talk about how much she spends time with the horses. But if there is a club that you want to be involved in or that you've been involved in high school and you just want to, continue doing that and we don't have it, it really is easy to start your own club. One of our clubs, the coloring club, started a few years ago by another one of our student workers. It was really just a suite of people who lived together that would get together and color like once a week. And they brought it to student life and were able to expand that out to the entire campus community. And now it's one of the thriving clubs on campus. So it is very easy to start your own organization as well. All you need is an idea and a couple of friends. Athletics is pretty important to us. We are a D3 institution and we have 26 different teams. By and large, we are pretty much always at the top of our conference for most sports. So we definitely have a good tradition of winning and celebrating that success, both in the classroom and on the field or the court. If anyone is interested in participating in athletics, I recommend going to our athletics webpage, which is gopresidents.com. You can complete a recruiting questionnaire, and you'll also be able to find our coaches' contact information there as well. One other important thing I wanted to mention during this student life portion is the support that you'll receive on campus. A lot of that starts with our Navigate program, which is just for first year students. With Navigate, you'll start with advising. Your advisor for your academics will be your first year seminar professor, and they'll be with you until the point at which you declare a major. They'll make sure that you're graduating on time, that you're meeting the graduation requirements, and that you're sampling courses and really help you find out what you want to major in. There will also be a student support team for you. That's a group of link mentors, which are your peers. They're current students, and they'll stay with you through that entire first year seminar class, really throughout your entire freshman year. They're great because they really are there to show you the ropes of going to college. They've done it before and you probably haven't, so it is good for them, good for you to be able to have them there as additional support. The last thing that I wanted to mention about this is our student success consultants. They're amazing people, and they're really there to basically be your school counselor at the college level and help you focus on that career aspect of college. What we do and support is very intentional, so we want to make sure that you're having a good time and you're able to have these experiences, but we also want to make sure that you can get a job after college and, you know, pay off your student loans and all of that good stuff. So one thing that the student success coaches will do with you freshman year is to help you build a resume and start thinking of things that you can add to that, like, you know, going abroad, doing internships, research, joining a club, being in a sport, those types of things. And they'll help you get connected with the rest of campus as well.
Great. So student outcomes at WNJ, 97% of our students are employed or continuing their education within 6 months of graduation. All of our major areas of study do a really great job of not only preparing you for your career, but also for preparing you for graduate school if you want to go on to graduate school. But we do have a 100% graduate school acceptance rate. So if that's the route you're taking, you know, pretty good success on our end. And like Dylan said earlier too, pre-health and pre-law are what we're known for at WNJ for graduating lawyers and doctors. Over 90% acceptance rate into medical schools and allied health schools, and 90% law school acceptance rate for over 20 years now. So if you're interested in either of those areas, again, a very successful place to be. And now we're going to talk about the fun stuff. So whether you're a junior or a senior, all of these dates are the same. So if you are a senior this year, feel free to write them down and start acting on them as soon as we get off of this presentation. If you're a junior, feel free to write down the dates and put them in your planner for next year. You can start an application as early as August 1st of your senior year. So we are a member of the Common Application, but we also have our own application. It's called the Wnj Leadership Application. If you go to our website, it's the biggest and first link you're going to see when you log or when you go to our homepage. All we require is the application itself and your high school transcript. You are welcome to submit test scores if you want to. You don't have to, especially now. You may not have time to take the SATs or ACTs. A personal essay is also optional, and so are letters of recommendation. With a small school, I mean, demonstrated interest is always great. If you can, keep your hand raised and say, I'm interested and I want to participate in all of these activities and events and stay in touch with my admission counselor and current students. But it's not required either, it's optional. But regardless of when or how you apply, you will have a decision within 2 weeks of submitting not only your application, but also your transcript.
Very quickly, these are just the deadlines. We do have early decision, early action, regular decision. Deadlines are December 15th, January 15th, and March 1st. If you're not sure which of these to choose, early decision is for those that are gung-ho about WNJ. They know that they want to be here regardless. Early action is for someone who wants to apply early but doesn't exactly know where they want to go. Regular decision is for students who aren't able to apply before January. After March 1st, we do operate on a rolling basis just for those who weren't able to complete their applications before March 1st. So that is still an option, but we do kind of give preference to those first three.
So like I said in the last slide, you can apply regular decision tomorrow and get a decision in 2 weeks. You can apply early decision tomorrow and get a decision in 2 weeks. Really, this is just how we prioritize reading your applications. So regardless of how or when you apply, like I said, you'll have a decision in 2 weeks.
This is a scholarship matrix. You can see it here listed. The one that I really want to point out is the Wnj Thrive Scholarship on the left. That is for students who have a 3.6 unweighted GPA and a leadership component on their application. You'll see it's the only one with a check mark beside leadership demonstrated. And what we mean by that are a number of things. Everyone kind of interprets leadership a little bit differently, but some of the real world examples of that would be, officers in a student organization, anyone who's in National Honor Society, Model UN. I love a good Eagle Scout personally. Things like that, teachers, coaches, mentors, tutors, etc. But anyone who has those and a 3.6 will get the Thrive Scholarship. Another thing, as Nicole mentioned, we are a score optional institution. So we don't require SAT and ACTs. If you choose to not submit your test scores, you are still eligible for scholarships. We're not going to, revoke your scholarship just for not submitting your standardized tests. So we will just use the GPA if that's the case to determine your scholarship. Scholarships are released within a week of your decision. So you'll know fairly quickly if you're admitted to WNJ and what kind of merit scholarship you'll receive. So if you applied today, submitted your transcripts, you would have a decision within 3 weeks and a scholarship a week later. So very quickly.
All right, like we said, the fun stuff. So as far as financial aid is concerned, 99% of our applicants receive federal financial aid. So what Dylan just talked about, that is institutional aid. It's free money. You get it for basically just applying to WNJ and being accepted based on your high school credentials. But how you get federal financial aid is by filing the FAFSA, or the free application for federal student aid. So the first word is free, so why not do it? You can start filling it out as early as October 1st. And our preferred financial aid deadline is February 1st. So you have a good few months to get that into us. But honestly, the sooner the better, because as soon as we receive your FAFSA, we're able to process your full financial aid package. And that will include your merit-based scholarship. If you visit WNJ, you get a $1,000 visit grant, and all of your federal financial aid, which includes loans, scholarships, grants, and work study. And then I'm sure all of you know this, but you do have to make a decision regardless of what college you're applying to by May 1st. It's National Decision Day. So again, the sooner the better, because May 1st is going to sneak up on all of us, and you want to have some time, especially with your financial aid package, to make your decisions.
One other thing I want to mention about financial aid is that we have a pretty robust financial aid program. So there are institutional grants that you may be eligible for when you file that FAFSA. Even if you're not eligible for federal financial aid, you may be eligible for institutional financial aid. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. And that is pretty much everything. There was a question asking about an accelerated BSMD program, and if you have to take the MCAT. We do have an accelerated program. It's with Temple University's Lewis Katz School of Medicine. And we also have one with Lake Erie College of Medicine as well. Those two programs basically guarantee acceptance to their medical schools if you're qualified and accepted to their medical school programs. With those programs, you basically will know if you're admitted to them your senior year of high school. So it's an early assurance program that you'll be admitted, that you're already admitted going into your college career. And it is good for those who are really interested.
Any other questions?
There was also one other question about athletic scholarships. As I mentioned earlier, we are a D3 institution. D3 institutions across the nation are not allowed by the NCAA to provide athletic scholarships. However, again, there are a lot of academic merit scholarships that you might be eligible for. So no athletic, yes to academic. The only divisions that can offer academics or athletic scholarships are Division I and Division II. If there are any other questions, we're happy to answer those as well.
And if you're curious who your admission counselor is, I know that Dylan and I gave you like a small summary of the parts of Pennsylvania that we oversee, but you can visit our website and there's a Meet the Team page, and that has all of our admission counselors and which counties in Pennsylvania they oversee. So if Dylan or I aren't your person, there's someone there for you. Just check out our website to find out who that is, and feel free, if they haven't contacted you already, they definitely will. But feel free to contact them first too. Demonstrated interest, like we talked about earlier.
We love it.
We also, just because you guys are all still here, we also have a variety of events coming up. And we are doing pretty much a virtual component to every single event we have on campus this year. So if you're interested in coming to campus, we're open Monday through Friday and a few Saturdays a month for a personal visit. And then, like I said, we do have a bunch of admission events coming up as well. Or if you don't want to come to campus and you just want to check us out virtually, you can either visit our website and do the virtual experience. We are on Zeme, so you're welcome to download the free Zeme app and connect with some of our current students that way. Or you can sign up for a virtual personal visit as well. So pretty much anything you can do on campus, you can do virtually at this point. And I mentioned the $1,000 WNJ visit grant. You can receive that for doing a virtual visit too. So if you're interested, please visit our website or contact Dylan or myself or your admission counselor, and we can help you set up a visit.
I also want to just reiterate, if you are interested in coming to WNJ, please register for a visit. That way you can, get an official tour by one of our student workers or by one of our current students, and meet with your specific admission counselor. I think that's very important whenever you're visiting, but we do ask that you just do an official registration for that visit. Okay, great. Nicole, is there anything else you wanted to share?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, you know me, I can keep talking, but I think I'm out of things to share.
Okay, great. Well, thank you again for having us and for joining us today. Again, if you need anything, feel free to look us up on our website, washjeff.edu, and then under future students, you'll see Meet the Team.
Well, thank you very much to our friends and colleagues at Washington and Jefferson for participating in the Virtual College Exploration Program. And thank you to our attendees. We appreciate you being here today. When this window closes, you will be prompted to complete a very quick 4-question survey. We also encourage you to visit pacac.org/virtual to sign up for additional sessions in the coming weeks, or to view recordings of other sessions just like this one. There will be a few hundred session recordings available on that website by the end of the program. So again, hope this was a valuable session for you today. Thank you for being here, and I wish all of you the best. Take care.